aggression. Today is International Day of Innocent Children, Victims of Aggression. Innocent children, victims of aggression. Today we are going to be looking at some of the abuses children are facing. Physical abuses, mental abuses, emotional abuses, either in their family, in the school, or even the society at large. That is what we are discussing today. And we have here one of our respectable mother from United Kingdom who is going to be discussing this with us. She has been taking care of children. She has given birth to children, and where she is right now, she is equally taking care of children. So she has been exposed to children, and she has a lot of experience to share with us as long as children's right is concerned. So my dear sister, kindly introduce yourself.
Good morning, my sisters and brothers. My name is Benedict Chinyere Ezorizu. Currently, I'm in the UK looking after my grandchildren. I have 5 children, 1 late, 4 alive, and I have 3 of them here in the UK, 1 in Nigeria. I have experience of bringing up children in Nigeria, and then here I have experience of it too. In Nigeria, our children are not being taken care of well. Some children in some homes, it's not in every home. You see some women, all they are after is giving birth to children, but to take care of them, they are not after that. All they have to do is to bring those children and give it out to people to train for them. Whether that child is in good hands, that is not their own cup of tea. What the child is going on and what the child is going through in that person's house, they don't know. Because some of them, when you give them, they use those children to make trade, either to sell pure water for them or to stay in the shop for them. They don't send them to school. If the ones that send the children to school, you see that those children will be coming too late while their own children will go to private schools. These ones will go to public school, and that public school, they won't go early. They will be going late in school. And then their parents will be there giving birth to more children, while the ones they have are being subjected to suffering. But over here, children are being pampered. You don't even beat them. You don't shout at them. When you shout at them, they will react. You say that the way you talk to them, they don't like it. So there is a very big difference between children over in Nigeria and children here. Here, children are being cared for, and that's why I believe that they have limited children, because you give birth to how many you can take care of. I believe that in Nigeria, giving birth to many children helps in not taking care of the children, because you don't have the resources to take care of those children. So children are being subjected to suffering in Nigeria than here. And this idea of when you have a child, you give it out you give the child out to either be housemaid or nanny to another home. You don't know the home you are sending the child to. And the parents are so careless in Nigeria that they don't visit. They don't visit the home where they gave their child to stay. They don't. All they want is at the end of the year, you bring a bag of rice for them, you buy clothes for them, and then give them money. What that child is going through in that house, they don't know. A lot of them. Even some have died in that process. When you come to a school in Nigeria, you will know a child that is in another person's house by the way the child will look. So there is a lot of suffering in abuse, child abuse in our country. There is a lot of child abuse. If mothers could calm down and take care of their children, it's the work of the fathers. The fathers they can do, but they can do little or nothing. It's the mother's responsibility to take care of the children. But due to suffering in Nigeria, their mothers are the breadwinners. They will leave early in the morning. They won't know whether those children ate before going to school. And then when they get to school, it makes them to steal. Some of them, they start stealing early. Because when they see something, they just take it because they are hungry. So I don't know how government will really help, because over here, government do help. When a parent, that's why they have a lot of single mothers, what they call themselves single parents. If they cannot take care of those children, the government subsidize, or you have somewhere you can go, they call food bank, to collect food and then make sure you eat.
Do we have such? Do we have such in Nigeria?
No, we don't. We don't.
Now, when you were in Nigeria, you observed that so many children are on the street, especially in major junction, selling, hawking.
Yes.
Do we have such experience over there in UK?
No. You can't hawk. You can't hawk here now. You can't hawk here.
You don't find children hawking in the street?
No.
Then what do you think is responsible? This idea of children when others are supposed to be in school and they will be hawking in the street. What do you think is responsible for that?
Well, it's bad government now. It's bad government because the person that is having that person as a house help needs that person to make money for him so that they will survive.
Okay.
It's bad government.
It's really, really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because there are things that happens here which we take for granted, you know.
Yes.
And that's why we have a lot of crime, because when these children are not properly trained, you expose them to a lot of crime,
danger.
Yes. They join court, and as you rightly said, some of them even develop this stealing in the street.
Yes.
So let's talk about the topic we have today, what we are celebrating today, specifically International Day of Innocent Children victims of aggression. Victims of aggression. Innocent children, they are innocent, but unfortunately they are victims of aggression. For instance, family where we have domestic violence. What do you say about that?
Well, a family where you have domestic violence, the children will grow. They won't be all that normal, in the sense that they started early to see something that they are not supposed to see. One, parents, if they can try and minimize this open quarrel between father and mother in front of the children, it will help in the children's development. A child that grew up in a home that is very quarrelsome, aggressive. In fact, when you see that child, they are not always happy. And then they will grow up with that aggression. Any small thing, they will flare. But when you see a child that grew up in a home of love, that child, you will see a very good difference in that child.
You are right. You are right. Is it not why the Bible said, proverb, that train up a child in a way he should grow, and when the child grow, he will never depart from it. And moreover, yes, there is another that when two elephants fight, who suffers?
Yes, the grass.
The grass, and the child happens to be the grass. So now we have some broken homes, some separated homes. Now, where do you think the child belongs? A home now, for instance, when there is divorce, where will the child go to? Who takes the child? The mother or the father?
The mother, the father has a role on every child. A mother has a role on every child. Like I keep telling them, it's not good to divorce. It's not. I don't advise that. And then over here, you have all the amenities to support yourself than to divorce. Come to Nigeria where women really suffer, but still they are there. They are in the marriage. But here, any small thing is divorce. So, to be honest with you, Father, I don't know whether there is any spirit that came to marriages now, that any small thing, all you will hear is that they are no longer together. So the church really needs to pray hard and to help families to stay, because the devil started with the families now. And the children need the father, the blessing of the father and the blessing of the mother. At times, he put the children into confusion because they don't know which one to follow.
Exactly. So,
but over here, it's normally the woman that they gave the child. But the child needs the blessing of the father, because yes, it's the father that carries the blessing of the family.
Most of them may not even know that. They think that,
you see,
once you can feed your children, that is it. There are some
No.
parents equally play. Every child needs both the mother and the father.
Yes.
Look at the case of Joseph, for instance. Jesus. God would have done without, after all, it wasn't Joseph that got Mary impregnated. So, God can as well do without Joseph. Joseph was not the biological father of Jesus. So, you are right in what you are saying. If God could provide a father figure in the case of Joseph, that means fathers are very, very important in every family.
Yes.
There is reason why God insisted that Jesus must have a foster father.
A father.
Yeah. So even without him playing a biological role, so but generally, we know that fathers have their own role to play in the growth of the child. So you are right for saying that. Now, children in the school, can we notice some abuses? You know, we are talking of aggression now. And thank God you are a trained teacher. So you notice, for instance, at times children, they go to school and they are being victimized by their senior. What can you say about that?
Well, that one I know is very rampant in Nigeria, because the senior students always maltreat the juniors, especially when they see that junior student comes from a good home or have provision more than them. They always like to maltreat that person. But I know those things are being reduced now because of the private schools in Nigeria now. So most of the children, their parents can afford it, go to these private schools where they will be looked at and they won't be subjected to treatment of these seniors. And when it is time for labor, they will make sure that they don't have good relationship with, they will give you the hardest place to do. They do it a lot in Nigeria.
You are right. But is it?
But now, people are, if you can afford it, you send your child to a higher school, even where they watch, even the schools where they dry clean for them and do everything for them. So no more those public school or federal school where they will go and the children will come back. They are being beaten up by senior students. No, I think it has reduced in Nigeria.
There is a new phenomenon going on. I don't know if you have observed it or if you have heard about it. Child molestation in the family. Incest. Child molestation. To the extent, there was one I could not even believe. A father sleeping with her. Are you aware of that? A father sleeping with his daughter.
Yes, I've been hearing a lot of them. Father, in fact, there are some that I will read in this internet. I will say, in fact, the world is coming to an end. How can a father defy a daughter? Father, I don't know the demon that entered from men. Instead of that person to go outside, he decided to defy the daughter. In fact, that one, that's where the church, I say, the church needs to be praying for the families, because a lot of things are going on. Whether it is true, it is true. But there is a demon in that person. I don't believe that a full-fledged man or somebody who is reasonable enough can do that type of act. I don't think that a reasonable person. And there are times some of them can enter this cult, and at times they tell them to go and do such act.
Yeah, one pastor confessed that. There was one particular pastor that confessed that he want to have more members in his church, and he was told to sleep with his daughter.
Yes.
So that he can have more members in their church.
Yes.
So you are right. Some of them are, for ritual purpose.
Yes.
So, and what's the gain? What's the gain? Does it make sense? So people no longer have remorse. People no longer have the fear of God.
Fear of God.
A lot of things are happening in the society today. So
yes,
and at the end of the day, it is always the children that suffers.
Yes,
children that suffer, because when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. So that's why before we go, I would like to, anyone I mentioned, there's something called child right of the child, which many people may not even be aware, and which I believe Nigerian government is not taking seriously. There is Child's Right Act. So anyone I mentioned, if you want to comment in any of them, feel free. So some of the Child's Right Act, and let me mention the content so that, because we may not have time to discuss all of them, but at least let's create awareness that our children equally have some right. Okay? So the number one is that the best interest of a child is to be paramount consideration in all action. Every decision you must make must be to the best interest of the child. I hope that is clear. Every decision, both in the family, in the church, in the society, every decision we make must be to the best interest of the child. Now, the second one is a child must be given protection and care necessary for his or her well-being. A child must be given protection and care that is necessary for his or her well-being.
Yes.
Every child has right of survival and of development. Every child, whether you are born in a poor family, whether you are born in a rich family, every child has the right to survive and to develop. Do you agree with that one?
Yes.
And then every child has the right to name. You have a right to your name. I'm entitled to my name. You are entitled to your name. And then we talk about the freedom of association and peaceful assembly. Okay? Freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. These are things every child enjoys. But you remember, before you talk about freedom of association, we should equally talk about the age of the child. When a child is a minor, he's still under the parents. But when a child grows to become, I think 18 years, an adult, that child has freedom of association. So parents should know that there is a age a child will reach. You don't like imposing marriage on a child. Imposing marriage on a child. No. Every child has right to choose who to be his or her partner. You can suggest, but you don't have right to impose, against the child's will. Or even to decide for the child the church he should go, the religion he should belong. Once a child is age of reasoning, that child has to make decision for himself. Okay?
Yeah.
Now we talk about freedom from discrimination, and it is common here. Do you know how they are doing it? Even church is part of this discrimination. They are not doing it directly. Most of the church schools that are built by church, faith-based schools, poor people cannot afford them. Poor people cannot. They use money to scare the poor people away. Indirectly, they are not telling you that they don't admit poor people, but the price, millions. In fact, you can't imagine any poor people coming close to their gate. So that one, both not only the government, especially the church uses that to discriminate against poor children. Poor children cannot afford education. So most of the poor children you have, they go to public schools. So rich people bring their children to mission schools, and those missionary schools are very, very expensive. Is another tool for discrimination against children, which the church is guilty of. Okay? Now we have the right to dignity of the child. Right to leisure, right to recreation and cultural activity. Children have right for all this. We should not deny them of this right. Recreation. Don't say because you are adult or you are an elderly person, when you were young, you didn't play, and because of that, no child should recreate around you. When children are recreating, you'll be getting angry. But it is their right. Children have the right for recreation. Okay? So, now, right of a child to free compulsory primary education. Compulsory education. Right. Every child has it as a right. And as I said, unfortunately, the right is there, but in practice, it is not there. Because you end up using money to scare children away from good. We have good schools. There are some good schools, but poor people cannot afford them. Only the rich. Okay? And then, right of the unborn child. Now we talk about abortion. The child in the womb, does he have right? Of course, that is one of the Child Right Act. You have to, that child is human being. It's not an ordinary fetus that you can abort anytime. So abortion is against the right of the unborn child. So all these, what do you call them? A choice, free choice. Democrats, take note. You shouldn't go against the right of the child. By nature, every human being is supposed to be pro-life. Every reasonable human being should be a pro-lifer. There is nothing like pro-choice. You have choice to abort any child anyhow. It's your right. It's not your right. What of the right of that child? You claim it's your right. What of that innocent child? And this is what we are celebrating today. Okay? Because those children we are aborting, they are innocent. They equally have rights. Somebody has to defend them. Somebody has to defend them. So, and that one is rampant. Imagine a United States of America, a president of a country that should be upholding, supporting the right of the unborn children, telling you that abortion is your right. Says who? Abortion is not your right. You cannot exercise your right by destroying another person's life. What kind of right is that? Mama, I want you to comment on that before we go. Comment on that, please.
For the
Right of an unborn baby. Unborn baby. This one, they are saying that abortion is a right. You are free to abort. You are free to keep a child and you are free not to keep a child. What do you say about that?
Father, to be honest with you, this question of America supporting abortion, when I see it and I see them encouraging such acts, I say, may God have mercy on us. Because those children you are aborting, you don't know what that child will be tomorrow. You're destroying life. And then you are encouraging children to be messing around. Once they mess around, they know that they can get away with it, they will go and abort it. Father, is not good. I don't like it.
And no reasonable person will support that. No reasonable person will subscribe to that. Because to come to think about it, if our parents have aborted us, do you think we'll be here today?
Well, yes.
If our parents have exercised that evil right, do you think we'll be alive today? So,
to be the president.
I thank God it's one of the Child Right Act. They included it. And I don't see the reason why they should not uphold it. The right of the unborn babies. I like this point. Okay? So there are so many things we can discuss because of time. Let me just mention them so that you are aware of it. There are so many things to talk about. For instance, prohibition of child marriage. You don't have right to impose bride on any child. Do you know there is a law against tattoo and skin marks? Tattoo, because when you mark this child, to remove that mark is some of them are indelible mark. You injure this child, and most people don't even know there is a law, and people are using it to make money. Tattoos and then skin mark. You dare not do it. It's against the law. And unfortunately, most of these marks, they are indelible. You can't remove them. In trying to remove any of this mark, in any of this tattoo, you injure the child. You don't just mark the child anyhow. And some children who grew up with tribal mark, like if you go to Yoruba land, they grow up to hate it. Nowadays, Yorubas, they don't even, most of them have stopped that tribal mark.
Yeah.
You know, but they do it against the will of the child. And when they put this tribal mark, you can't remove it easily. And the moment you see somebody, this one is a Yoruba. Okay, so these are the right of the child. You dare not mark this child, you know, against the child. If the child grew up and said, okay, I need this mark, it's a different thing. And then using children for criminal activities. It's against the law. There is another one, prohibition of labor. That is a child's labor. Using children who are supposed to be in school, and you are using them for labor. If you see the kind of labor work at times, and those of us who when we grew up, we have to go to the street first before going to school. Mama, I don't know if you experienced that.
I I did that. I did.
You know,
because I grew up with my grandmother.
Yeah, we go to street, but those days we don't take it as anything. You know, you have to go to. Oh my God. Well, that was then. But now I don't think you treat any child like that and get away with it.
No.
You know, a child have to go to stream, go and fetch water, fetch firewood, you know, those ones. We did it and it helped us, okay?
It helped us, eh?
Yeah, it helped us to be more responsible and more, you know, when you go to stream, come back, you are, you know, some of the discipline we have
we
today.
Go to the farm.
Go to the farm early morning
with our Panaka light.
So all those things is helpful, but so the extreme can be abused. So you know these are what they call abuse, child abuse, but we don't take it as anything. But we have to create awareness. Okay, we have to create awareness. Child labor is not encourageable. And then unlawful sexual intercourse with a child. We have mentioned it, even to the extent, you know, parents, some men sleeping with their daughters. Unlawful is crazy, is barbaric, and we should condemn it. So all forms of exploitation against the child, we should say no to them. And then recruitment, look at the children. If you see someone, if you come close to some of our soldiers, you discover that they are children, they are young boys. It's just the uniform that is covering them. Because they are killing them in numbers. There is a law against recruitment of children into armed forces. It's against the law. As they are killing our young people, they keep recruiting premature people. When you go close to them, you see that these are children. These are young people.
Yes.
You know? So it's unfair giving children like that arms. Okay? Or forcing them into soldier. They are not even forcing them. They have made life difficult for people. Hardship in the land. So because of lack of job, children are just jumping into soldier to die. You know?
Sure.
Unfortunately. So prohibition of importation and harmful publication against children, penalty for harmful publications. There are all these things. These are things people take for granted. So and so on and so forth. There are so many things. I recommend you Google this Child Right Act and go through it so that you will know when you are infringing on the right of the children. You should know when you are infringing on the right of the children. I want to really thank you, my dear sister. You know, this topic is very important to me. That's why I insisted that we must do it. So I want to thank you for your contribution. You have done justice to this topic. Thank you very much. So,
thank you, Father.
Can you advise our parents before you go, your last advice to our parents, especially regarding their children, and even the government? You can advise them.
Yeah. Well, my advice to parents as regards to their children is, one, they must have dialogue with their children. You have to dialogue with your children. Everything is not course, because some parents lay curses on their children without knowing it. I know things are really very hard now for parents, but children are not the cause of the problem. So you have to be patient with them. It's not every time you scare them away. Like I was dealing with one case. The child said that it's because of the nagging of the mother. That's why she can't open up to the mom. So we should try and at times bring our children together, and then have a sort of dialogue with them. You know what they need and what you are supposed to do for them. It is very important. Especially these days, these children think that they know everything. You have to encourage them. You have to praise them. Then the ones that are not doing well, you add prayers so that God will help you for them to come out of it. Then the church should pray for families, because what I am seeing in this world now, in fact, I don't know the world. I don't know where it's going to. Single parents is trying to overshadow the whole thing. So the church should help in praying for the families. And then our government, since they do come out here and see how other countries make their own and life easy for their people, they should try with our resources, help us in that country, because children are really suffering, and these children are our hope for tomorrow. Some children have talent in Nigeria, but they don't have anybody to help them bring out that talent. Government should help. That's my advice to them.
Thank you very much, and they are wonderful advice. They are good ones, okay? And thank you. We have heard you, even the one you advise us, church leaders. We have heard it, and one of them, and I've heard you. I heard you loud and clear. She went as far as advising church leaders. So thank you, man. And we have another advice coming from United States of America. Our sister Augustina Ede said, in my opinion, being a pro-life largely depends on moral upbringing, which the family and the church have a great role to play. Just exactly as you said. You see, the family, the church, and let me add, the government, the civil society, everybody, all hands must be on deck. If the children are well trained and they become resourceful to the society, in fact, that is the greatest achievement of any nation.
Right.
Because there will be no crime. You know, idle mind is devil's workshop. All this crime you will find in the society today, they are the same being used by children. It's the children that are using kidnapping, robbery, attack, you know, terrorism. They are young people. So if we don't engage them usefully, the devil will make use of them, and we always suffer it. So do you now see the reason why this topic is very, very important? And that's why we have even taken extra time. You know, International Day of Innocent Children, Victims of Aggression. We can continue on and on. There are so many things to talk about. So I want to thank you for your patience. You know, it's the nature of today's topic, because there is no home without children, and there is no future without children. If your home must be successful, your children must be well taken care of, more well trained. Okay? Build a youth, build a nation, build the children, build a nation. So thank you, my dear sister. May God bless you for honoring my invitation. And thank you for what you have shared with us.
Thank you, Father.
I wish all of you happy International Day of Innocent Children, Victims of Aggression. Shalom, and God bless you all.
And you too, Father. Bye-bye.